Hello everybody, apologies for the delay in this review. I've been quite poorly this week. Yeah, it's not been great. But this guy behind me, today we're going to be taking a look at the Lewin resources, or W resources as it's being shown some places. Their take on a kind of Titan Metroplex. This is a steel fortress. If you watched my unboxing and build video, you know that he is absolutely massive. Now, I've seen a few comments online about people saying that it has to be transformed up into base mode because the legs are going to give out. This has been posed in various different poses over this week. I have to have help doing it. My son has been helping me because it is so heavy. I mean, it's crazy heavy. It's 40 kilos, but it's just because of the size and bulk of it, it's just so much to kind of maneuver. But he's standing strong. I've not noticed any irregularities or anything with any of the joints. In fact, since I got the huge cannons and the huge guns as well, his balance is now even better. In fact, I'm actually going to have him posed on this little island behind me. I'm going to have him kind of one leg down and have him kind of interacting with the Transformers. Hopefully, that's the setup I'll have. I'll show you some poses. Done some just before the cannons arrived, and I'll show you some more poses with the cannons attached. But I would just like to thank everybody that did attend the live and everybody that's been sharing the reels as well. It does help. Obviously, any revenue generated off that will be pumped back into the channel and hopefully recover some of the cost. But let's take a look at just how good Steel Fortress really is. Right, I'm not going to get much here on a review slab, but we do get the instruction booklet. This is the limited edition magnet that you get with it. This activates all of the lights. I believe any magnet should work. But this is really nice. You get this. Here is the instruction booklet. It was in box 3. Pretty straightforward. It's all on one sheet. It's basically just a slightly simplified version of the Titan Metroplex. But I will get this transformed up. I'll get my eldest to help me with that. You do need 2 people with this. And then I've got these faces that we can take a slightly closer look at. The good thing about battery installation on Metroplex, you don't need any tools. You just literally just pop out these back panels. Okay, literally just pop out, put the battery in, and then they push back on. Same goes with the guns. The guns, you just take the ends off and then pop the batteries in. And if we just bring in that magnet, basically we can just, there we go. And it's kind of got that pulsing glow. But yeah, we've got this face, and then you've got the one here with slightly kind of more added detail, almost kind of that quivering chin. I think the nose looks slightly different as well. But these are good sculpts. This is my second favourite. This one's my least favourite. My favourite is the one I've got on at the moment, the battle damaged head, which we can take a closer look at in a moment. But even these big solid lumps, this feel very comparable to something that Zeta would produce. It's that sort of strong, robust plastic. Speaking of the guns, we have multiples of these cannons, which we can put on Metro. See these sides here as being further kind of lasers, and you've got the vents at the back. You've got multiples of these. These don't have lights in, but you can position these in various different ports around Metro. And we also get a guardrail which goes along the back. I'll show you that when we take a closer look at Metro himself. Right, and here we have a closer look at him. You see these cannons. This section here on the top, that just slides off. And again, we put the battery in just like we did with the faceplate. I've got the little figures there that came with the X-Transbots version of Perceptor, and I've got him sporting one of his guns in his hand there, looking seriously awesome. I've had him sit up in various different poses. And he has not moved an inch. He still seems as sturdy as ever. You see, like, he is leant forward slightly. That's how I've got his legs positioned. And doesn't appear to be any extra movement on there. I mean, he will wobble if you push him. But other than that, he's a solid piece. These are the rails I was discussing. Put those on there. There's also slots just on top where they can go. But honestly, he looks sensational, doesn't he? I wish this section here was blank enough for us to have a nice big Autobot insignia on there. I still need to install the batteries in these fingers so we can point the fingers and the tips will glow as well. Yeah, Metro really does heed the call of the Prime. Let's throw some figures in here for a scale comparison. Now, I know a few of you wanted me to do some size comparisons. First set of figures we've got here, we've got our first two members of our Legends class, Raiden. The small Legend scale Megatron. Now, he is more in keeping with kind of the Doctor Wu figures. I think he is smaller than your regular Legends would be. Somebody asked for Hoodlum. That is Fans Toys Hoodlum there. We've got MP44 there as well. So that's a masterpiece scale figure. I mean, to be honest, I think the scale works better with those real minifigures, like I had with Perceptor, Brawn, and Bumblebee. But still, he still looks so good alongside these figures. I mean, the Legends class, could you imagine a whole kind of table here filled with Iron Factory, for example, all of that kind of War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron, that kind of aesthetic, all kind of battling out, and we could have Metro kind of on the side. They're leaning over this table, kind of smashing or destroying some of the Decepticon forces. Like I said, I don't have many huge Titans. I do have Metroplex. I don't have the Generations Metroplex, but I do have this Metroplex. It's of course the Titan version of the Cybertron Metroplex. He's absolutely dwarfed by this guy, isn't he? Such a good looking figure. I'll show you a couple of little poses that I got him in. Articulation on the head, heading up, down, left and right. The arms are on ratcheted shoulders. They can rotate all the way around. They can come out to the side. We have a bicep rotation. We have a really nice bend at the elbow, which you can see here that I'm using for when he's holding that gun up. It actually goes higher. We've got a tilt on the wrist there as well. You've got fully articulated hands. We have a waist rotation. If you didn't catch my live stream, when the waist arrives, it's actually reversed. You just grab the torso and just rotate the waist around so the screws are at the back. It just helps with the weight allocation, slightly offset, so the legs actually sit slightly further back. You do get upper thigh rotation there. You get a nice deep bend on these knees. Again, that's all die-cast ratchets. And we've got some really big, heavy-duty feet here. And the feet themselves have kind of a leathery texture underneath, which stops them sliding. I didn't realise that. I kind of found that out as we went through the unboxing. I thought, oh, these are going to slip and slide on here, but they won't. They actually scratched my surface. They've got like scuff marks on there where it's kind of scuffing against, and the friction is just stopping it from moving. But yeah, there's a lot of articulation there. And he does hold a pose. Others are reporting online that they've had to keep theirs in base form. I have not had that issue. I've kept him in bot mode. And yeah, he hasn't moved. I've even let the cats in here. Of course, I have watched them. Yeah, I'm sorry, but to be able to pull off a pose like this with a figure this big, I absolutely love it. Such an ambitious project. I mean, that's not Metro's best look. Just chilling. This dude is so big. I had to put his other gun on the arm, facing down. Yeah, he's just perched, just chilling out. Right, and here we have him. We had issues with the torso, even with the two of us. The torso still tends to flip back because we're messing around with the legs, and then those arms bring the torso back. But this is kind of his base mode. Again, it is kind of simplified version of the Generations Metroplex, but it gives you an idea. We've got some legend scale figures here. It's not bad. It's not bad at all, really. I mean, I like how they got the legs, I like how they transformed, I like how everything clicked in. I'm not really sure where these are meant to go, if they're meant to come all the way up or not, or whether they're meant to be down. The instructions are a little bit vague. I do like the ramp, I like how that opens like a drawer. You just basically just pull that out and it slides down. And yeah, it's a really nice big platform. I like the fact that it's got that helipad section on the top there. That's a really nice kind of throwback to the original. It says we can put this scaffolding piece back on, which I have done to the best of my abilities. I don't like the arm going up. Maybe I should have done extra with that. I suppose I could have turned the wrist round, pointed it down, and had the lasers pointing forwards off of there. Now we have had to secure this arm here with the gun, because with the gun hanging off and the arm being upwards, it tends to pull away at this joint here. It's not going to break. It's a really robust, solid joint, but gravity tends to move the joint backwards, so the arm would tilt slightly to the left. So I've supported it with the gun there, but like I said, it's because it's inside and bolted through on the base of this joint here. The gravity was just taking its course. You could always counteract that by having the arm going slightly further over. Over here you can bend it further over. But it's just because these are so big, you have to be super careful. It is a heavy beast of a bot. Do not leave him unattended. Don't have him in some sort of dynamic pose and then have somebody kind of playing around with him, or somebody will end up getting hurt if it lands on them, because he is a big, heavy beast. Bot mode is definitely the best mode for me, without a shadow of a doubt. It's not without its faults, but at the same time, they've done a really, really good job. And this is the first, this is the first of somebody building a mass-produced transformer to this scale. Honestly, Lewin were first out there. They're the guinea pigs. They've put a Titan out this sort of scale, this sort of weight, this sort of size. Let's let them know how well they've done. And I think this will be testing grounds for a lot of other third-party companies out there to see how well it sells, how well it's received, and how well it holds up over time. My biggest gripe, I think, with this is the gap on those thigh joints. It's the twisting of the thighs. There needs to be smaller gaps. I think the jump from straight up to slightly bent is too big, and it allows a little bit of play, and that's why you get a wobble on the torso. You've seen other reviews where the torso kind of wobbles side to side when pushed. It's because the gap on those thigh joints, on those clicks, is just too far apart. There's a little bit of play. I mean, it helps you with balancing him, but I really would have liked more clicks. Maybe somebody could 3D print or do something similar, give us kind of more teeth on those ratchet joints, but I will give that feedback through to Lewin as well. But for now, this is the Lewin Resources Metroplex, our first real Titan.